The problems of Nigeria are not from the north, south, east or west. They are not from the differences in tribe, culture or social orientation. The problems are from the 201 million Nigerians that have continued to tolerate, endure and be silent to the gross misrule by the less than 10,000 persons to whom we entrusted our commonwealth. Our long silence as a people to those that continue to disrespect and disregard our constitution, where it is clearly stated that the primary purpose of government is the provision of welfare and security. Fellow Nigerians, the recent questioning of Senator Ike Ekweremadu by members of IPOB in Germany generated so much debate, and I wonder why. You can define the word questioning as you wish, just as the Nigerian government is defining revolution to fit their purpose. Ekweremadu has been discussed over and over again, simply because he's a senator. Sadly, many Nigerians do not know that a more serious harassment and a case of beating was given to a senior Nigerian citizen at Oshobo. A woman old enough to be Ike Ekweremadu's mother, Mrs. Sariyu Okom, aka Mama Revolution, who in her 70s was mercilessly beaten up by officers of the Nigerian police on the 5th day of August 2019 for participating in the protest march against the economic hardship and insecurity in Nigeria. Our story did not spread like that of Ekweremadu simply because she's not a very important citizen. Every Nigerian is very important. Every Nigerian. Insensitive politicians that have ruined our country, they are now more important. Do you know how many Nigerians have committed suicide because of the greed of Nigerian politicians? Is questioning a politician in Germany more important than the lives we have lost from the greed of politicians? Ekweremadu has been in the National Assembly since 2013. He is currently in his 5th term in office. He was the Deputy Senate President for 12 years. He is an embodiment of everything that is wrong with Nigeria. The Nigerian National Assembly has passed 676 bills since 1999. The government has spent about 2 trillion on the National Assembly since then. On the average, it means that it costs Nigerians 2.9 billion naira to pass one bill. With all of these economic and political bills under Ekweremadu, how did we end up as the poverty capital of the world? How did we become so highly indebted and so unsecured? Meanwhile, Ekweremadu will receive 50 million naira now to buy a car. Just a car. 50 million naira. And you tell me that revolution is unlawful? My freedom is your loss? How dare you tell me not to support revolution when you are the manufacturer of our collective suffering? Thunder! Release yourself now or never. Insensitive set of politicians. Ekweremadu has received the same car allowances in the regime of Obasanjo, Yaradua, Jonathan, and Buhari. Where are the cars bought for former senators? Oh, you had no cars before you became senators? You trekked to the Senate? I never heard that government officials in normal society go home with official vehicles and their office furniture and equipment. Only in Nigeria. They will take office equipment and receive another funding to buy another set of office equipment when they win a new tenure. And we are borrowing to finance our budget in a government that is purportedly fighting corruption. Kidnappers of our common resources. The controversial 30,000 naira minimum wage of 3 Nigerian workers is what buys petrol for the convoy of a senator daily. Yet, most governors have refused to pay the minimum wage. Senators padded our budget by 481 billion naira in 2016. The court ordered retired Muhammadu Buhari to prosecute them, but Buhari refused. Yet, Mr. Integrity claimed to be fighting corruption. Can you imagine how many states could have received stable electricity from the amount of from that kind of money? 481 billion naira. Though we preach revolution without ammunition, if you look at the comment section of all the news agencies in Nigeria that published the story of the question of Ekweremadu in Germany, 98% of Nigerians celebrated it as a victory for democracy. Our people, the sleeping giants, have woken up at last. Nigerians no longer wish to wait for judgment in heaven. Let it be on earth as it is in heaven. He that is in Nigeria is greater than they that are in the National Assembly. The questioning of Ekweremadu in the language of INEC is inconclusive and a rerun is required. Many Nigerians have suggested that after a politician has been questioned abroad, it should be issued with a people's certificate of return, so that anytime he visits that country again, it will not be questioned for a second time. Others are saying that the questioning must continue, that it must continue. However, if a politician run away in the course of questioning, his certificate of return will be withdrawn. He who fights and runs away lives to fight another day. If you travel abroad, you must stay to obediently receive your questioning. Since you turned our national resources to private gains, we do not need to wait for developed countries to place travel ban on Nigerian politicians. Nigerian politicians have been banned by Nigerians in diaspora under the platform of the Global Coalition for Security and Democracy in Nigeria. This is as a result of your uncontrollable rate of corruption, support for insecurity, and gross abuse of the rule of law. Don't tell us that you are coming here to negotiate business for Nigeria. You have been negotiating businesses into your private pockets since 1999. Let the Nigerian ambassadors do whatever negotiation needs to be done. Do your holidays, your shopping, your education, your medical treatment, and so on and so forth. Do them in Nigeria. The Nigeria you created. Since today's Nigeria is the dream of your is the country of your dream. It was shameful to hear members of the House of Representatives telling Buhari not to respect court orders and to continue in the lawful detention of El Zakzaky. How can you do that, lawmakers? If you cannot fix the roads in Nigeria, do not come abroad to enjoy their roads fixed by politicians who receive lower salaries than you do. If you cannot fix electricity, education, water, and hospitals in Nigeria, you shall no longer come here to enjoy the electricity, education, water, and hospitals fixed by civilized politicians who receive lower salaries than you do. Every year, we hear about billions and billions of naira budgeted for this and that. At the end of the year, there is nothing on ground to show for it. Since 1960, Nigerian politicians have been campaigning with the same things: roads, schools, hospitals, electricity. These are not infrastructures. They are basic needs, and it's our basic rights to enjoy them without question. But you steal the money. We refuse to be obedient to oppression and hardship. Shamefully, Ekweremadu went further to hire hungry Nigerians to welcome him at the airport, as if it was the first time he was traveling abroad. We are not as stupid as you wish us to be. Hiring that crowd was a mockery of the same people you impoverished. That was a clear display of inhumanity. We heard that he hired that crowd just to clean the questioning he received in Germany, because he's equally planning to contest the presidency in 2023. Nigerian politicians who do not see the pains of the people because they have no eyes to see. They do not hear the cries of the people because they have no ears to hear. Their hearts are hardened to the suffering of the people. Slave trade was abolished for the sake of humanity. Colonialism gave way to independence. But today, we are fighting another freedom fight, a second independence from greedy politicians whom we thought we could trust. No! What is the big deal about questioning a Nigerian politician that came abroad? The Prime Minister of the United Kingdom was pelted with eggs and tomato, and nothing happened. What is special about the Nigerian politician? In 2014, an allegedly corrupt politician in Ukraine, Vitaly Zurasky, he was thrown into a bin by Ukrainians. They carried him and put him in a bin. Corruption. Nobody was arrested. Government is about the people. If you cannot serve, you resign. You cannot perform, you resign. Must we all die because somebody is a politician? In 2016, Member of Parliament Asha of India was beaten for his support to a policy unacceptable to the people. Rotimi Amechi categorically told Nigerians that politicians are stealing because Nigerians have refused to stone them. Buhari called for a revolution before he became president. Now Nigerians are revolting and you now call it a crime. Amechi called on Nigerians to stone politicians. Now people have decided to use just simple eggs, just eggs, and a push here and there instead of stones, and you call it a crime. Perform well and see if anybody will attack you. Perform well and we shall attack whoever will attack you anywhere. Simple logic. We have seen how angry citizens treat their failed politicians abroad. And since we must practice what we have learned here, stay away from here. In March 2019, 17-year-old Morrison Connolly of New Zealand threw eggs at a politician, Fraser Anning, for making an Islamophobic statement after the mosque shooting in New Zealand. In response, the politician punched the boy twice. He was taken to court for punching the boy. People donated over $63,000 to support the legal fees of the teenager against the politician that punched him. Democracy! In 2001, former Deputy Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, John Prescott, was egged in North Wales by a protester, Craig Evans. Politician Prescott responded by punching the protester in the face. Both men, they wrestled briefly on the ground with each other. The police came and separated them. Case closed. When you are questioned abroad, you are free to defend yourself like John Prescott. And case closed. In 2001, a 19-year-old protester threw eggs at the former president of the United States of America, Bill Clinton, when he visited Warsaw in Poland. Clinton simply shook off his jacket, shrugged it off, and what did he say? It's good for young people to be hungry about something nowadays. It's good for young people to be angry about something nowadays. That was all. Simple. And you are there ridiculously calling for the arrest of human rights activists for questioning a Kweromandu. In 2018, former ambassador of United Kingdom to the United States of America, Christopher Meyer, he was beaten for joyfully welcoming Donald Trump to the UK. This means that Nigerians living abroad could be attacked by local citizens if they see us joyfully welcoming corrupt Nigerian politicians abroad. Because they know the ugly stories of our politicians. So we cannot afford to take that risk. If we welcome you joyfully here, they will beat us here. It was laughable that some persons were calling on the German government to arrest those that question the Kweromandu. Why did you not arrest them by yourself? Did Nigerian police officers, did they not learn from the professionalism displayed by the German police? No tear gas, no shooting and killing anybody, no arrest, no stealing of mobile phones of the protesters. We're talking about a civilized society that practices the rule of law. Our coalition does not support, I will never support any act of physical violence against anybody or politicians. But we shall continue to use our legal freedom of speech and expression against anybody, no matter how highly placed. You must be prepared to receive the anger of the oppressed. As long as you continue to steal our commonwealth, you and your families will never have peace. If you are a governor in Nigeria and you don't govern well, when you visit abroad, we govern you here. If you are a legislator that is not doing your job well in Nigeria, if you come abroad, we legislate you here. If you are a president that does not perform well in Nigeria, when you visit abroad, we preside over you by way of questioning. In my Yoruba language, we say, "Wada tu rueto ba." Meaning that when you pursue an animal to the wall, the animal will turn around and attack you. We have reached that stage in Nigeria. We have had enough in that country. Enough. The simple message from the Global Coalition for Security and Democracy in Nigeria is that since you use the police and soldiers to intimidate our compatriots at home whenever they protest against injustice and your criminal enrichment, please stay in Nigeria of your dream. Don't come here. The Nigeria of your dream, the Nigeria of our politicians is a government by a few for a few. Their dream of Nigeria is to see our people killed daily while they travel with police escorts. Why did Ronaldo not come to Germany with his police escorts from Nigeria? Who gives a senator or parliament all those mobile police everywhere? One politician is moving 10 police officers around him, 9 police officers are around him, and most of them they kill to enter into office. They read to enter into office. You now prostrate and loyal to who? You call them excellency, honorable to who? Common thieves, election riggers, ritualists, certificate forgers. They don't deserve our respect anymore. They stole from us too much. They have degraded our country. They have bastardized the system. They've killed our country. They've destroyed our country. We can no longer accept this. What is the big deal about pushing a senator? What is the big deal? The time has come for us to embarrass your children that are schooling abroad. The time has come. The time has come. Because the dream of the Nigerian politician is to see our children learn under mango trees and licking roofs while their children school abroad. Their dream of Nigeria is to see our people killed daily while they travel around with police escorts. Their dream is to see our children go to bed hungry while their children feel fat from the corruption of their parents. Fellow Nigerians, if you know the schools and the department attended by the children of Nigerian politicians, send us an email. Go to the comments section. Our email address is there. Send us an email if you know the schools and the department of Nigerian politicians abroad. We have reached that stage now. We have reached that stage now. Send us an email and we shall begin to strategize on how to embarrass them within the ambit of the law. Your parents cannot be stealing our money to give you a better life when our people are suffering at home. Some of the children are into even the business of money laundry for their parents. Some of the Nigerian students that are children of politicians, they launder money for their parents abroad. In your various schools and on the street, we shall let the other students and the general public know that you are children of common thieves. We shall begin to boo you. We shall paste the pictures of the suffering children of Nigeria, our dilapidated schools, roads and hospitals on the walls of your schools abroad. That is what we are going to be doing now. Yes. We shall do publications in your student magazines so that your schoolmates and institutions, they will know that the source of your funding is criminal. We shall begin to write to universities not to admit children of Nigerian politicians because their school fees are proceeds of corruption and money laundering. You better return to Nigeria now in your own interest. Your parents refuse to pay the salaries of teachers and university lecturers, but they use the money to send you abroad. If you don't stop their children now, they will take us to their version of the next level by continuing from where their parents stopped, and the end will be worse. If you look at how politicians have groomed their children to take over from where they stopped, that is enough lesson for us. Olushola Saraki, he taught his children politics, and Bukola Saraki became governor and senator. We saw the monumental corruption that he did in Kwara State. Today, Gbemisola Saraki is a minister after being in the House of Representatives because they all rode on the horses of their father. Musiluyo Banikoro, the former Minister of State for Defense, who was involved in the diversion of money meant to equip the army, that is another case. He crossed to APC from PDP, and the case is already dying. Today, his son, Ibrahim Obanikoro, is in the House of Representatives, representing Etiosa constituency of Lagos State. Olusegun Obasanjo's daughter, Iyabo Obasanjo, was a commissioner in Ogun State and later a senator. Dimeji Bankole, son of politician Alani Bankole, became a legislator and Speaker of the House of Representatives. Remi Tinubu, wife of former governor of Lagos State and current national leader of APC, Asiwaju Tinubu, has been in the Senate, and she will continue to be there for as long as she wants because her husband is in control. No, the list is on and on, and we must not allow them to turn our country to family treasury. Fellow Nigerians, as we ban Nigerian politicians from traveling here, we must speak with one voice. One voice. We should not Biafranize, Arewanize, or Oduduwanize the process of dealing with our politicians here. We should all key in peacefully, do the needful whenever we see them here. Revolution has no tribe. The revolution is on, and it will spread. It will spread beyond the power, beyond the gun of government, beyond the army uniform. The revolution shall spread beyond the intimidation of the Buharis. The revolution will flow naturally. No stopping the revolution now. Peaceful revolution. So we must speak with one tribe, because revolution has no tribe, it has no religion or region. Our strength lies in our diversity. We must form a common front and speak with one voice. We are all victims of a greedy few. A last word for Nigerian youth. Generational insult is when 20 years ago somebody in government called you leaders of tomorrow, but today 2019, he or she is taking oath of office as a minister before a president that was a minister 43 years ago. When injustice becomes law, resistance becomes a duty of the citizen. God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Nigeria will not break. Our politicians will break.